Good evening, boys and girls. We have made it to the end of another week, but it's no ordinary week, let's be honest. The transfer window, there are 3 more days and how many hours where it shuts right in our face. But will it be a window that opens an opportunity to finish top 4, or will it truly be one that is shut in our faces? There's only one way to decipher it. The legend is back. It's Kevin Says. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is HIGHBURY SQUAD. You know, I've long said I'm going to do a new thumbnail, but I love this picture of Kev looking dapper and looking like the director of Arsenal football.
Oh,
eh?
You know what that look? You know what that look says, Soph. You know what that look says.
What you talking about, Willis?
Exactly. What that are you talking about?
Welcome back to the show, the legend, my podcast brother from another mother, Mr. Super Kevin Campbell.
Squaddies, we got no time to waste. Sophie, let's get into it. At Squaddies, let's go.
It's exactly what we're going to do, guys. 3 questions from Super Kev. There's no time to waste. It's a critical next few days. Welcome to all the usual suspects in the house. Here we go.
Sophie, Squaddies, at ease. Kev says here, let's get into it. Question number 1. Is the lack of incomings a reflection of where we are as a football club? I'm going to repeat that. Is the lack of incomings a reflection of where we are as a football club? Question number 1.
Is the lack of incomings a reflection on the football club? This is a very interesting question.
Of where we are as a football club.
Okay, correction, because that's a very important correction. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Nicolau.
No slaps, but just where we are right now. Do you know what I mean? Just
yeah.
Where we are.
So I always like to kick it off, Kev. Mm-hmm. I thought in the summer, not because of the caliber of player that we signed, because those players surprised everybody, but I think because of that, I felt that we were on a new trajectory of, you know, rebuilding our respect, our pedigree, and our overall positioning in the transfer market. I'm okay being gazumped by Manchester City, Liverpool, you know, Manchester United for players. I am not okay being gazumped by Newcastle. I'm not okay with being gazumped by Aston Villa. I'm not okay with being gazumped. And I feel like it's a little bit like a house, isn't it, Kev? I'm sure you've invested in property and stuff like that, and you think you've got this dream home, or you've got a home, or friends, you know, I've known who are like, oh my gosh, we're in. And it's never done until the paper is signed or something's in escrow. And I just think that that's the part I find. I think it's the Newcastle Bruno thing that's really thrown me off, Kev. I think that's bothered me a lot, which is what leads me to believe, which is what I was saying a little bit on the show last night,
But
Kevin.
why has that one bothered you?
Because I think he's a player that could have come into our squad and had an immediate impact. I think his talent... Now, I say that, though, and I've said before, a player who hasn't played in the Premier League might need time, right? So maybe I don't know if I'm being hypocritical, and you know I always throw it out there on the line, but the fact that we were in for him, supposedly, and we lose out to Newcastle, there's 2 things that are depressing about that. One, is it really all about the money, which it has a lot to do with. 2, did the player really want to join Newcastle over Arsenal Football Club? And 3, were Arsenal even ever serious about signing him?
Sophie, if you follow who we've been linked with 101 players. So,
so have Tottenham, to be honest with you. Like they've not fared it. They just got gazumped by Liverpool and Diaz.
But, listen, at the end of the day, we don't even know whether we're in for him or not. It's a bit like Vlahovic, all you could do is state your intention, Sophie. Vlahovic, we made our intentions clear. We wanted him.
Yeah, but he never wanted us, Kev.
He wanted to stay in Italy, and he stayed in Italy. There's nothing we can do. All we could do is try and sign you. That's all we can do. No club has a divine right to sign players, Sophie.
No,
but listen, I don't want to get too deep because this is important.
And Kev, the honest truth is that Dusan in the end wanted to sign for the old lady. That's the team he wanted to play for. He didn't want to play for us. And at the end of the day, I know we complain a lot, but we want players who want to play for us. Taib says, yep. G-Dog says, yes. Demsek says, I believe Jack has a squad number. Oof. A-Run says, no. Craig says, absolutely, yes, it is. Virginia wants a bit more clarity. What do you mean by reflection? You mean, and I said it at the beginning, but it's current status. Is that...
Reflection is where we are right now. We go for Vlahovic and all these players, and we've got a load of players going out and not one come in yet. And I'm not saying we won't sign anybody, but what I'm saying is the lack of incomings a reflection of where we are as a club?
So, Kev, what you're talking about here is, are we still attractive? Do we still have the pull? Do we still have the pedigree?
I'm asking the question. Is the lack of incomings a reflection of where we are as a club? Arsenal still has the pull. I'm not questioning the pull of Arsenal. I'm just saying the lack of incomings.
Yeah. Well, the pull would be... Bruno...
Because Arsenal is still a pull, Sophie. That's for sure. Arsenal is still a pull.
It's not right now.
Remember, we're in January. So this is a different marketplace, and that's why this question is relevant right now.
All right. Raul says most definitely yes. Why will a high profile sign for us with how we are positioned? Mario, welcome to the show. Lost our pulling power. Matty K says not at all. It's January and we can't have what we want at the moment because of many reasons.
Well said,
Jack was number 12. Wasn't that Chambers' number? Oh, dear God. Here we go. Hi, Barry. We're going to have to get Jack back on if this happens. Part 2.
We may have Jack. We may have to get a body. So, even if it's to sit on the bench, we may need the body.
Even if he comes on for 10 minutes and does something.
But even if he comes on for 10 minutes, it's better than going for a baby with a Farley's Rusk in his lap.
By the way, that Mother Care and Farley's Rusk comment went down a treat on the YouTube comments last night, Kev. Damien Drummy, yes, it's a reflection of the owners and how much they care. Hey, gang. Hey, Martin.
Hi,
Suraj
Martin.
says, yes, it's a reflection of Arsenal's 600 million debt. Okay, so Newman's twisting it a little bit here, which is a point in the sense of financially versus the pulling power for players to just want to come and play pure football, Kev.
But you know something, Sophie? Which fan wants to know about the debt?
Well, it's the reality.
No, but which fan wants to know about it when you're actually looking to sign players? Does anybody care?
I think eventually, because of the nonsense that we've done, there are a lot of fans, Kev, who actually do care about the financial side of things.
No, sorry, Sophie. I'm not saying do they care about the financial side. We're talking about incomings. So because we're 600 million in debt, everybody should then say, it's all right then, we shouldn't bring anybody in.
So why didn't we throw all the money in the world at Dusan?
But we did.
Not enough, clearly.
But we did. We threw all the money. We had the bid accepted and everything. But if he doesn't want to sign for you, Sophie, listen, English money is just as good as Italian money and vice versa. But he was his choice.
But it's happened with 2 players now, Bruno and Dusan. So clearly we didn't throw enough.
Didn't happen to Partey. Didn't happen to Gabriel. Didn't happen to Odegaard.
Because there wasn't as much competition for those players, let's be honest. Partey, a couple teams were in. Odegaard seemed like if you can't work out at Real Madrid, where you're going to work out. I'm not saying that's right, Kevin, at all. Gabriel was definitely a player that a lot of clubs were looking at, but when it came to the actual final bidding, you know, I think we have to look at it realistically in the sense that, you know, losing out to, I don't care what anyone says, we were interested in Bruno. There are reports that suggest that we were. Yeah. To lose out on a player like that to Newcastle, that's a dick punch.
I don't.
All right, I'll carry on. Swedish Gooner, I believe the focus on this window is to clean out the decks as part of the process. Yes, okay. I'd like to say something because I've seen a lot of influencers and people say, oh, you guys have been moaning for so long. You want to get rid of Chambers. You want to get rid of El Neni. You want to get rid of Kolasinac. You want to... Everyone agrees on this. Everyone does. Don't make some Arsenal fans look stupid because what you're saying is stupid. Everyone wanted those players out for so long. The question is making sure that you bring players in. I was having an exchange with Clive from Arsenal Vision, Kev.
Nice top guy.
Getting rid of the furniture. Sure, fine, but you still need a mattress and you need a pillow. You can't just get rid of everyone and not have anyone.
No, but let's have it right here, Sophie. Let's have it right here. The players that have left have not been starters, and we've needed to clear the decks for a while.
That's not the point, Kevin. I'm sorry.
Can I finish? Please, can I finish?
I've started, so I'll finish. Mastermind.
Now, so the key to all this is we might have to go through some more pain, Sophie. Because the amount of players that have left, I can't see us bringing in that amount of people in. No chance. So we might bring 3 players, 4 players in. Obviously, we signed a goalkeeper, didn't we? But he's not coming to the end of the season. But we're going to have to suffer a little bit, Sophie. We're going to have to suffer a little bit yet again. Because January is maybe not as conducive as we fans would like to be able to bring the right players in because we could taste the top 4.
So, Kev, that's the problem. So, Matty K, I hear you. We're rebuilding. Fans like me understand this, but we found ourselves in an improbable situation where Arsenal Football Club could finish in the top 4, and we've let everyone go who we want to go, but have a plan to at least have some players come in. And in the month of January, we had 2 semi-finals against Liverpool in the League Cup. We had an FA Cup. And we blew it because we didn't have that cover, because we weren't prepared, because we didn't plan for AFCON. By the way, Kev rightly has one eye on Stoke City's game.
Yeah, I just watched that.
Tyrese is playing.
That might have been a penalty on the boy there.
Did he start? Did he start today?
Yeah, started today. I thought that was maybe a penalty. I just glimpsed up and he was getting brought down in the box. So I'm thinking, typical Championship referee turned his back on it.
Kev, here's a question for you from Ryan. So, honest question, are Arsenal rebuilding or tanking? Tanking is a philosophy in...
Yeah, they're rebuilding. Listen, we know we're rebuilding. We know we're rebuilding. Let's have it right. But it's the lack of incomings and the speed of it that is the problem for us, isn't it?
So that's my point. Don't have a go at Arsenal fans thinking we don't want to get rid of Chambers or Kolasinac or Pablo Mari or Jenkinson. Don't have a go at Arsenal fans for that. Listen to each other. Listen to what they're saying. Gooner Russ, 18 squad players gone, 22 players loaned out, 7 players brought in. That's 33 players we can't use and 1.5 million trimmed off wages. Whereas where is all this money going? 75 million a year saved. Did you
I love that. I love that.
Tony?
I love that. Hold on a minute.
I think we have a new host of the Highbury Squad.
Sophie. Sophie, I can't say I agree with that, but let me just tell people this. In this modern time now, you have to be smart how you do this. Sometimes it's not as easy as 1 in, 1 out. Because the players that you're bringing in, you're expecting to be better than the ones you were getting out. So maybe they're going to cost more money. Of course we need the bodies, 100%. And I don't want to go too much into this because this is some of my thing at the end. But, Sophie, it's important that we know where we are. With having these players in, it's harder to get the ones out. So when you get the opportunity to get them out, you get them out, Sophie.
And let's be honest, Kev, we could have sold Callum Chambers maybe for 10 million 3 years ago. Held on to him too long. Could have sold a lot of players for a lot more money a few years ago.
Sophie, earlier on when he came off the bench against Liverpool, people were raving. Oh,
no, not me, never.
No, but he done great. You said he done great coming off.
Because he was a better option than some others. I'm glad he's gone.
No, but I'm saying what my point is, we still use these guys when we know they are not good enough.
Correct. So we've left ourselves open. Virginia says the window isn't closed yet. Think people need to wait and stop panicking. The point is, Virginia, the window's been open since the 1st of January. We had 2 League Cup games against Liverpool. We had an FA Cup game. We've been bounced from both competitions. Our 2 main midfielders were idiots and got red cards. One went to AFCON, came back within 5 minutes. He's banned. This is ridiculous. You can't defend that. How do you defend that?
So we go back to the question. Is the lack of incomings a reflection of where we are as a club?
Public and Me says January window is just to adjust. I think it was a goal to get the wage bill clean and build in the summer. I think they've said, you know what? We didn't think we'd be here. You're going to get a break. We're out of the Cup. We're out of the League Cup. We don't want to be in the European League Conference. Whatever happens, happens. A little bit like United. We'll play with the kids. Stephen says, let 9 players go with 0 income. What the F? Dylan says, Spurs and United haven't signed anyone either, so top 4 battle hasn't changed, and I think our team is still good enough. Yeah, but they're a thicker squad than we are, and Tottenham have Antonio Conte as a manager who's been here before. Arteta's 2 years in the job, a little bit more green. No more excuses for him either. Fred says it's sad to see Villa is more ambitious than Arsenal. Let's see, Kev. January windows are always difficult. CM says new players should be in and training with the squad now. Bruno to Newcastle sucks. Jaffa says, of course it is. We got given hope because of our starting 11, but the squad is nowhere near complete. Ryan says exactly so if this season is a wash. Earl says, Kevin, we're not rebuilding. It appears that we're shifting out. We haven't bought a player so far. It's almost forgot as a backup. Oh yes, almost forgot a backup American goalkeeper. Can we stop with this bias against American players? That's got to stop, you guys. Christian Pulisic, Champions League winner, European Super Cup winner. Serginho Dest, starting player at right back for Barcelona, doing pretty well. Weston McKennie, one at Juventus, midfielder, sought after by a lot of top clubs. Tyler Adams, one of the most sought after players, RB Leipzig playing in Bundesliga. Zach Steffen, goalkeeper at Manchester City. Like, what is the stigma? Why do people keep attacking American talent? We're open to players coming in from Africa, and for a while there was a stigma attached to African players, Kev, coming in the league. Let's just stop this nonsense. If you're talented, you're talented. So, and I'll tell you something, Pulisic would be great at Liverpool, would be great at Arsenal. Something's not ticking for him at Chelsea, but he's still won, Kev. He's Lithuanian. He was born in Lithuania. Again, let's not point the finger. There are a lot of players that are born somewhere and grew up somewhere. Look at the Republic of Ireland team under Jack Charlton, Kev.
The Cockney Andy Townsend right in the centre midfield, didn't you? He's as Cockney as anything, yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Harry Symeou from Chronicles of the Gooner in the house. You can't truly rebuild anything without knocking it down completely. Absolutely, but you have to have the blueprint to be able to rebuild that. And the analogy, and Harry and I were going, Harry got into the thread with Clive as well, Kev, is that if I sell a sofa, I need a new one coming in.
Yeah, but sometimes it takes time. Sometimes you order that sofa, Sophie, and they turn around and say, we can't get it to you for 6 weeks. So you have to rough it a little bit. You have to get a couple of bean bags.
But that's not going to cost me money, is it? That's just going to cost me a sore neck.
But it might cost you a couple of bean bags. So what do you mean by what's it costing the club?
I just find it hard to believe that you guys are defending this seriously. It's really, I'm trying not to get aggravated here a little bit, to be honest with you. I've said on Dan's show last night, I believe in miracles. I watched the ice hockey game with the USA team against the Russians. Do you believe in miracles? Yes, said the great Al Michaels. But the fact that we found ourselves in the improbable situation to qualify for fourth, and we haven't thrown the kitchen sink at it the same way the owners threw the kitchen sink at the Rams this year, trying to win it all in their own backyard, Kev. Come on, man.
But Sophie, that's when they can throw they've done that when they can throw the money at it, right?
So all of a sudden we can't throw the money at it.
Well, Sophie, that's why I'm asking the question. Is the lack of income a reflection of where we are as a football club?
So in other words, the last 5 months have just been like a dream, like Bobby Ewing in Dallas, where he died and then he decided he wanted to come back to the show. And the new series started with him in the shower, and it was like, I just had the craziest dream.
Sophie, because we are where we are in the league, we're still a football club. We still got to do business. There's still business to be done. And sometimes half your problem is trying to get rid of the dead wood. Sometimes that is the big problem. Because when you want them out, we can't get rid of them.
Yeah, but Kev, we did that in January, okay?
But it wasn't enough, Sophie, because we know there's still a lot of deadwood there. That's the point.
I know, but Kev, come on, Kev. Are you telling me that not having... Okay, it's the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the rest of today. If we get a striker and a midfielder, a right back or a centre back, great. If we get someone on loan, great. But the point is we're at the 28th of January and we still haven't brought anyone in. That's not acceptable, even to you. Come on. It's not, is it?
So, Sophie, I'm saying I want incomings. What are you talking about? I'm not saying I don't want incomings. I want Arsenal fully stacked. Of course I do. But I look at it, the big picture. The big picture is if you've got crap on your shelves, out of date, get rid of it. You don't keep it on your shelf, Sophie. You do not keep out-of-date food on your shelf. Just like players. If the players ain't good enough, get them out your club.
Of course, but you also have to have a plan to restock those shelves. Look what's happening in the supply chain in the world right now. People suffering.
Sophie, having a plan doesn't mean you're going to get in the stock that you need.
No, that's true, 100%, and we agree on this. But you need something, Kev. You need something.
Sophie, this is why I'm asking this question.
Okay. All right. I even suggested Abu Bakr yesterday. who's banging in the goals at AFCON. Bring him in for 5 months. Let him score some goals. He's not the long-term plan, but I'm going to restock my shelves so my customers have something to tie them over for a while.
So we have something to go with. I've said that so many times, Sophie. I've said it all the time.
Virginia, Arsenal fans are not moaning. Arsenal fans are asking the right questions. Please, let's not do this to each other. The other thing that we need to stop doing is nitpicking each other for our opinions. Seriously, let's just stop with that. Okay, 25 minutes in, we've only got one question down. Super Kevin Campbell always does this to us because he is the legend that probes, picks, and makes us think on a Friday. 400 in live chat, Kev. Tell him.
Do a Vinny. Do a Vinny. Do a Vinny. It. Slide it in the corner. You know the like button. Just nice and easy. Stick it away like a striker we need. Just stick it away.
Kev, do you know how many people are asking you to, if Jack Wilshere could come back to the team, do you know how many people are saying that you should come back too? Anyway, we'll go to question 2. I'll just shut up now.
Question number 2. Were the outgoings a necessity for the Arsenal? The outgoings, players going out, leaving ourselves short. Were they a necessity for the Arsenal? Question 2.
Of course.
God, so a sharp intake of breath, they call that, Sophie.
Gun, I am serious about it. Is Eddie? Do you know how many goals Eddie Nketiah has scored in the Premier League this season? Da, 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 da. 0. Do you know how many Lacazette has scored? 1, 2, 3. Do you know how many he scored in the AFCON? 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Wait, I'm missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, oui. Right. I'm going to shut up now. Nketiah is supposed to carry Arsenal. Gooner, RUTH, the outgoings are necessary, but not without the bloody replacements coming in. What an absolute bloody mess. Bloody is the word of the day today. Hola, Sydney Mocha. I'm going to let Kev pronounce your first name because I love the way he does it.
Ogochukwu.
Yeah, exactly. He sounds like an Arsenal striker. Zamir, Casey and Eddie have the same number of goals in the PL. Eddie has played a ton more minutes. Lone Star says, and you want Ober out. Steven says, yes to trim the books, but we are fans. We want replacements. Luzma says, a necessity, yes, wrong timing. Craig says, that's a no-brainer for me, of course. Let's see. Name blocked. Answer, yes, but incomplete without Granit Xhaka. Why does he get to stick around, Kev? It's a great question.
I have no idea. I'm hoping in the next couple of days, but that will leave us even more short. So.
Kevin is a flip-flop. He's been Arteta in since day 1.
So where have I changed? Kevin, where have I changed? Where have I flip-flopped then?
Zamir says...
I'd like that answered.
Casey's trying to give Soph a heart attack. You know what? I didn't know it today, but I put my body warmer on as well.
Oh, jeez.
Got the old Ralph Lauren on today. Why not? Have a clearing out sale in the summer. This is the point. But wait. No. Kolasinac, yes. Mari, yes. Chambers, as much as I don't like him, you guys, hybrid player, could maybe have helped out between now and the end of the season. Maitland-Niles, hybrid player, could maybe have helped out until the end of the season. Eddie, no. Go. Sell him. So there's a couple of players, Kev, that could have maybe helped us towards the end of the season, even though we know we wanted them out. Kev's waiting. He's just going to let rip in a minute. Yes, now we don't have to wait till the summer to make sales. Newman says not a necessity because they left for peanuts. If you can't replace them, keep them. This stream is...
Oh, come on, Newman. Come on, Newman. These are the same players everyone at the start of the season. Do you remember after Man City? Do you remember after Man City, us getting umped at Man City 5-0? Chambers, Kolasinac, all played. Absolute garbage. What are they still, remember, Soph, what are they still doing at Arsenal Football Club?
Of course. But who's replacing them?
No.
Yes.
No.
No. You don't
At the
love
end of the
me.
day, it's not 1 in, 1 out. It doesn't work like that. If you get the opportunity to move some of these players on, and this is the reason why I asked, is it a necessity, Sophie? Should you take it or not? That's the key.
Martin says, yes, Deadwood needs to be binned ASAP. Nostalgia says, no, not no. In the summer, yes. Seth says, we're all moaning because we have no clue on what really is happening behind the curtains. No one saw Chambers coming. Let's be honest. Fred thinks it's a bad question. God dang. Why? Future Shock says, the fact a club our size is rebuilding just shows how poorly managed we've been over the recent years.
We've had to rebuild. Future Shock. Let's be honest.
Colin thinks we're all going to feel so silly for the stress we're causing ourselves if Arteta brings in a couple of studs in the next few days. And yes, the caveat is we're talking about this aujourd'hui. Lots of French today. We're not talking about Monday. We're talking about right now, today. This is Kev Says Live this Friday. Thank you, Colin. Ask, what rebuild? It's clear we have a starting 11. All we need is a ST, and we need it right now. If we failed, everyone knows it will have a big effect on our league finish. Arteta knows best. Virginia says, bang on, Colin. Trevor says, yes, we do, KC. Normally we don't take it and we lose out. Players walk away for nothing. That's got to stop, Kev.
Well, that stopped because we're getting rid of them.
All right, left to me alone. We don't get the right players in this window. We should wait until the summer for the right players. Take that. Take that. Says it's the process. Niles has missed the question. Don't worry, Niles. Video number 3 will rejig it for you, and then you can have your say. Players running down contracts versus getting people out versus getting people in. Right, said Fred. Not sure what Matty K's on about there. Was that some song that you guys are talking about? Give your hat to Super Kev. His head is getting cold, says Time. Dem said, yes, let's get something for them. They aren't first team players. Chambers is no third right back, Stephen. But other teams are getting money for their player sales. That pisses people off as well, Kev, is the fees that some of these other teams are getting for the players that they're selling. Even like Chelsea's young players going for like 18, 20 million. And by the way, did you hear that Dennis Bergkamp apparently has been talking to Patrick Vieira about getting Van der Beek at Crystal Palace?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think he'll do pretty well there, Sol. They play good stuff.
Yep.
But Sophie, here's the thing: if you're gonna sell talented players, you have to nurture them. We haven't had the real talented players. We haven't had a squad for years.
So funny how we were all raving about our starting 11 against City and Tottenham and Villa and Leicester. And now we're like, we don't have like this and this.
No, we don't have a squad. We've always had holes in our squad, Soph.
That's true, Kev. I agree with
We've
you.
always had, and this isn't the first 11. This is about our periphery now. You know, when players aren't playing, Sophie, when you're going to be looking to the bench, that's why I made the Mother Kieran Farley's rust and a bottle analogy. Because you look to the bench and you look at people who can come on and make a difference.
If you're not careful, there's a new gift coming with a Farley's rust.
We know there's a couple of holes in our team right now, and they've been there from the start of the season, possibly. We hoped Aubameyang would hit the ground running this season. It hasn't worked out. We hope Lacazette's done okay for us. I think he's done pretty well for us. But that goal-scoring threat from a striker hasn't been there, so. We know we need a midfielder. We know that.
Yeah.
But the whole squad, Sophie, is thin, even with those players at the club.
Yeah.
So,
It's kind of like you want it to be a Mark Wahlberg movie, but when you can't get Mark Wahlberg in the movie, you get this C-list actor. And you know that if Mark Wahlberg was in that movie, it would be a great film. It's like the supporting cast is just bang average. Fowler says, Kevin and Soph represent the Arsenal fan base. Everyone is speaking, but no one is listening. I love this comment. This is so important. We have to listen to each other, you know, and not disrespect each other's opinions and comments if we disagree with such venom and stuff. We probably saved 10 million in wages. That's a good thing. Sophie, seriously, do you really think Chambers would have helped us to get to top 4? That's not what I said. Look at Tomiyasu, who's injured right now. He didn't play for his country in these World Cup qualifiers. That is a big bummer. People are worried about striker and midfield. If Tomiyasu isn't fit for the rest of the season or he's going to be in and out, that's a problem. I'm not saying that he would get us top 4. This 11 might not even get us top 4. The starting 11, the players we've fallen in love with.
of course.
Right.
Yes, it might not. You're right.
I'm going to keep the comments coming up. First half hour.
I love Newman. He grinds my gears. Well said, Gooner.
Because the next half hour is handing it over to Kev. Here we go. The last question, you guys.
Question number 3, squaddies. Is it crazy to just support the club no matter what? Is it crazy to just support Arsenal wholeheartedly? That's question number 3. So I'll recap. Is the lack of incomings a reflection of where the club's at right now? That's question 1. Question 2 is, were the outgoings a necessity for the Arsenal? Was it a necessity? Question 2. Question 3, is it crazy to just support the club no matter what? Let's get your thoughts. Let's get your comments. No brock in the neck unless you get right out of hand. Then your neck's going to get broke. Sophie, have the samurai handy. Hostess with the mostest. Squaddies, I salute you all. And I can't wait to get stuck into it with you. So look after yourself. Sophie, I'm not going to shout this week, my dear, because it's no point shouting because you're expecting it now. So squaddies, I'll see you in the show tomorrow. It's Funky Friday.
I was ready for it.
I don't want you taking my head off.
Taking it all for granted. Oh, it's too funny. All right, here we go. Always support the club first, says Rich. Patrick, support the club. Fred, I became an Arsenal fan because of our style of play. I'm going to go all the way up. No, Arsenal is life, but it hurts. Yes, says Carsten. 38 years of faithful fanship for me here, Casey.
Brilliant.
It's madness, says Antenna. Ashton says, yes, absolutely. It's crazy, or else they would have, they wouldn't went through that Super League BS.
They would have went through with that Super League, yeah.
If you don't support the club through thick and thin, then go home. Yep. But we do support the club wholeheartedly. Doesn't mean we can't question their decisions, says Jaffa. Pirate Radio Archives, yes, it's like driving blindfolded. Like being a relaxed parent, no discipline when it's needed. Swedish Gooner, that's why I've been doing this since 1973. Niles, yes it is. Support the club for life. I don't know if this I look forward to the show with Taib and Newman when they dare to come on live. I will find that video of Newman who came on early on.
You just wait. We're going to set something up for them too.
Raul, it's not crazy, but you need some expectations from the club as well as objectives. Jake says it's not crazy. It may shorten your lifespan. Bless. Martin, that's our job as fans in my world. Absolutely, says Fred. Yeah, Sunderland till I die, Arsenal till I die, no? Isn't that what it's all about? People crying about Chambers when he's hardly played in years. Okay, I'm going to move down a little bit here. Yes, a true fan. Yes, if you are a true fan. Newman now throwing shade. I'll wipe the floor with Casey. We'll see that when you come on.
Wipe the floor with what? What? This guy. Listen, if he's anything like your artwork, mate.
A mess. An absolute mess.
Oh, jeez. Come on.
Phil says Gooner for life. Look at this, Kev. 56 years of Gooner. Won't
Brilliant.
stop now.
Dave Hills. Dave
Yep.
Hills, brilliant.
Public says, even if I'm to be critical, Damien says, still support my club when we came 8th, still support the club even though we've been waiting 17 years for a league trophy because we are Arsenal till we die. Yes, for sure, says Jerry. Tom, we support the club. Great. Kev, I love this question because sports is about winning. But, you know, I have cousins who support Barnet. You know, James Johnson on our tactical squad. He goes to Dagenham and Redbridge every weekend with his dad, right? Kev, you, through what your sons are up where you live, you've been to non-league, you've been to non-league games.
I've done Radcliffe and all that. I've done all that. Been Salford when they were coming through as well. Radcliffe is there, you know. Just Marine, Marine, FC Marine.
I mean, I love our Northosy Cypriot team. You just love them. You know what I mean? Sahid, yes, we're not a great club anymore. That's a reflection of where we've been for years. Not supporting a failure. Wow. You have to keep the club in check sometimes. Tom says, time for Kroenke to sell. Shocking owner, decline. Great Gooner says, support the team on the pitch. Always, but accountability is important. Nameblock says standards have diminished. The Cronkies should reduce prices. 50 plus years, still a Gooner. It's a way of life. Well done, CM.
Love it, CM. Brilliant.
No, forever a Gooner. No matter the division, owner, manager or players, your club is for life. Kev, tell them what Tony Adams said. As a player even. It's never about...
It's never... Look, Sophie.
We know.
Tony was a massive supporter of the saying, and I think his dad said it to him. Mr. Adams said, forget about the name on the back of your shirt. If you do the business for the badge on the front of the shirt, that's when the people will remember your name. Right? That's when they will remember your name. So you've got to be, in order for that to happen, Sophie, you have to be fully committed for that badge. That's why he's got a statue outside the club. Young captain who done everything virtually for our football club. And was spoken about as one of the best captains ever. Arguably one of the best captains ever. So
I think this team did too, Kev. The last time we ever won a European trophy, you were in that team.
And do you know something,
this team
Sophie?
did too as well, Kev.
But
this is what
Sophie,
hurts.
Can you listen? This team are incredible team. But you look at, just go back to that. The players in that team, many people would to this day wouldn't fancy. Let's be honest. There's a load of players there in that squad who people would not think they're top class. But you know what the difference is, Sophie? They would die for the club. They'd run through a brick wall for the club. They really would. They put their body on the line for the club. Injections for the club. Everything for the club to put themselves out on that pitch to try and win. Because what, Sophie? I've said it so many times. Winning cures everything. Look at the joy. Look at the joy. This is the memories. And it's everybody. All the guys, there's Ills and Martin Keown and all that. Alan Miller, the late Alan Miller who's no longer with us. All those guys were the glue as well to that squad. And we got over the line, Sophie.
And Kev, do you remember when George brought in Lee Dixon and Winterburn and like
Bold
and people were like, "What? What's happening here?"
From Stoke and Wimbledon, respectively. What? Division 2? I remember, Sophie. I remember, and many of the more experienced squaddies, maybe you could put a comment up about when that happened, what the feeling was like around Highbury at the time, Sophie. They thought he'd gone crazy. But it's not just about the big name, the big name. I think we need bodies, Sophie. I think we need bodies. I think we need people who would run through brick walls for this team. And then you sprinkle in a little bit of quality in key spots. Then we got a team. Then we got a squad.
And Kev, to be honest with you, even if we look at this team, do you remember when Patrick Vieira, when he came in, he wasn't world class at
He's
that
unknown,
point.
Soph. Who in England knew about Patrick Vieira?
Everyone was wondering about how this kid Ray Parlour could fit into all of this. And let's be honest, Thierry Henry was broken when he came to Arsenal, as was Dennis Bergkamp. Wasn't working out for them in Italy, Kev.
Yep, very true. They found a home. And they came in, Sophie, and they grafted for the badge on the front.
And someone just put up a comment. LT, you've said this many times. The badge is too heavy for some.
You know, it's to play for Arsenal, and I'll say this to anyone, to play for Arsenal is not easy. No matter how big a player you are, it's not easy to do because of the past, the winners, that mentality to win, Sophie. It's so important to have that winning mentality. And we haven't had it for years, Soph. You know, when we see a little bit of it in this team, oh, it's like we're turning the clock back. It's so good for us. But if we're really honest, we are nowhere near it yet. And that's why I understand there's a frustration among us, Soph. And do you know what? I could answer all three of these questions together because they were meant to actually fall into each other. So
Let's do that. Let's do that. 1 second. I just want to say also one thing, Kev, before you do that. People took the piss of Arsene Wenger talking about top four. And now the entire conversation of our club and our fans is about getting top four. That's the part where sometimes we need to simmer down and think about things. Man United, Tottenham, West Ham, Arsenal, all fighting for top four. He was ridiculed for saying top four was a trophy in itself. And that's because that was a, different. Anyway, Kev, let's get to it. Answer your questions. Question number 1.
is the lack of incomings a reflection of where we are as a club? 100% it is, Sophie. But maybe not for the reason people think Arsenal aren't a big club, Arsenal aren't a draw. No. It is a reflection of where this squad has moved to, and there's going to be some stragglers, Sophie. We know what we got to do, and I'm going to move on to the second part, where the outgoings are necessity. So that's going to dovetail in with this, because yes, it is a necessity to lose some of those players, because if we're honest, some of them have run their race, Sophie. Some of them have really ran their race. But the key to everything about attracting players is, are you strong enough to come in and play for this football club? Because Arsenal is still the big draw, Sophie. Still the biggest club in London. Still one of the biggest clubs in the world. And we're out there, and if players want to go to a Newcastle or want to go to a Villa or want to go to wherever, Sophie, we have to look at it as it's where our club is right now. There is a lot of pressure on players coming in to do the business in this club because the fans expect. The fans do expect. We make signings. we don't give them the time to settle. They have to hit the ground running now, so because there's a race on for the top 4. There's a race on. So yes, there is a lack of incomings, and it is a reflection of where we are, and it's solely because, in a sense, we're a bit desperate, Sophie. We are a bit desperate to get bodies in, but the right bodies. And the right body, Sophie, there will be other teams after them as well. But that takes me on to where were the outgoings a necessity for the Arsenal. I think 100% they were a necessity for Arsenal. And we could argue, we could keep them until the end of the season and we could do this and that. No. We've gone nowhere with these guys before. So what makes us think that we're going to go anywhere with them now? We get the opportunity to move some of the Deadwood on. We should take it. Because what happens in the end, Sophie? They hang around until the end of their contracts. And then we start saying, why do we keep doing this? Why do we let players run their contracts down? No, let's get them out. If we can get bodies in, great, we get bodies in. But if we can't get bodies in, then we just have to deal with it. I don't like it, Sophie, one bit. I hate it just as much as you do. But as a football club, is it a necessity to get the Deadwood out that will not move us forward? Yes, I think it is. And maybe we could have waited on a couple to move in the summer. But the opportunity to move them on might change for the player in the summer. So you get an opportunity to move them on, you take it, you move them on. So it's going to be interesting, and I know there's a few days left, so it's going to be interesting to see what Arsenal do. Yes, we've signed a goalkeeper, which is going to be needed in the summer. Good business. But you know as well as I do, Sophie, we need to stack those shelves for the outfield players. We need a striker, we need a midfielder, minimum. We need probably 8 players, Sophie. We do. Maybe more now. But if you can get me a striker and a midfielder, do you know what? Okay, I'll take that. So, Sophie, this leads us into, is it crazy to just support the club no matter what? Sophie, 100% is crazy. We have to be a little bit crazy to support Arsenal with what's going on. Don't forget, we've been used to lauding it, Soph. Let's have it right. And when you don't get the chance to laud it, when you've been at the Ritz and the Savoy, Sophie, and then you're at a little B&B, nah, this isn't the level of our club. Our club haven't been the level, and we could level it at the Cronkies, and we could blame everybody. The fact of the matter is, we still love our club, we still support our club, and we will argue, we will throw our opinions about, of course we will, because that's what we do as fans. But we have to be a little bit crazy to come on these podcasts every night, guys, and engage each other. That's what we have to be. We have to be a little bit crazy. So, yeah, I'm the first one, Sophie. I'm a little bit crazy about Arsenal. Yeah, I am. And my opinion isn't always the same as yours, Sophie. But that just means my crazy is different to your crazy, that's all. Mm-hmm. But we're still crazy, aren't we? We're still crazy about the club. We still feel so passionate about the club. And we only want the best for the club. I know everybody in chat wants the best for our football club. Or their football club. Because not only Arsenal fans in here. But our opinions may differ. They really might. And if we have to go with a Patino on the bench till the end of the season, that's what we have to do. Newman, you are crazy. Jesus, peace. I'm not crazy. My psychiatrist said so. Well, there you go. I'm saying you're crazy. You're crazy about the Arsenal.
You've got some people really G'd up, and some people, when you mention that we need 8 players, thinking that, wow, this is going to take a lot longer than we thought. I think the excitement of some of the new player DNA and the idea of maybe finishing 4th, you know, sometimes it's like when you're dating, right? And you're thinking, wow, this is it. You know, she's the one, he's the one. And then unfortunately, you might be a little bit more ahead of the other person in your feelings and your emotions. And the truth is that it's actually not there yet. You know, they call that lust, Kev.
Well, the thing is, people move at different tempos, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
People like to move at different speeds. There's nothing wrong in that, but it's just a matter of synchronizing. If you could synchronize, cool. But if you don't synchronize and you just think my way, then you're going to come unstuck a little bit, aren't you?
This is what some people have a problem with. Wow, Mr. Waffle. Wait, Waffle? There's waffles, and now we've got one waffle, and it's a picture of Arteta. I don't think it's Mr. Waffles, Kev.
No, it's not Mr. Waffles. That's Mr. Waffle.
Yeah. 18 years, Kev. What do we say about
it has
that?
been 18 years. It has. But like I said to you, the guys on Tuesday, if I'd have said to them in 1990, Liverpool will not win a title until for 30 years, they would have put me in a madhouse or put me in a straitjacket, or put me in the madhouse. But it happens. If the mentality at the football club is not to be the best, or is not to breed that togetherness and toughness and camaraderie, and it's people you're going to think, oh, we need to just go and get that one from there, and we need to go and get that name there, and think it's just going to happen like that. It doesn't. Especially now with the competition that's around. It is not going to happen.
Amira, unfortunately, Kev is not signing a 6-month loan on Monday. The Highbury squad have rejected this offer. He's not going anywhere at all. I wanted to put this up from Brendan for you, Kev. The problem is, Kev, that this is a perpetual cycle. Arsenal have stayed below par for too long. The owners are clearly the problem with all the manager changes. Do you know how many... I said this on Sky Sports earlier this week, Kev, because we were talking about Watford and Roy Hodgson, which, by the way, great appointment to help keep them up. Everton should have actually tried to get that deal done a little bit earlier.
Sophie.
To help them stay up.
Sophie. Mm-hmm. Another ex-Liverpool manager? Are you crazy?
I know. Then I thought that, and I stopped myself from saying it on live television.
So don't say it now, because they're going to come.
But if you Google how many managers have, Google actually finishes the sentence for you. Watford. You know,
Straight
they've
away.
had it 11 or 15. I can't remember. It's 11 managers. We've had, since Wenger, we've had Unai and we've had Arteta, and Freddie was an interim period.
Yeah.
You know.
Stopgap. It was just a stopgap.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's get some of these other question. Quick one. What if we have an even better summer this year, recruiting 7 excellent? Would it be worth it?
Yeah, of course it would.
Would it be worth it? Not missing out on the FA Cup this year and maybe top 4 in Europe?
Sophie, there's no divine right that we're going to win the FA Cup. There's no divine right. It can happen. But the key is, we don't want to be this position next year, do we? We want to have a lot stronger squad so we could sustain a challenge. This is what it's about.
I'm sorry, but if we miss out on Europe after Arteta dumped us out of Europe for the first time in like 20 years, you can't keep your job.
He will.
Of course he will. And Matty K, say what you want about Chelsea's managerial revolving door. Count how many trophies they have won over the last few years. Would you rather that or what we have? What would you rather have, that managerial revolving door and all the glory that Chelsea have had in the last 12, 14 years, Kev, than what we've had?
Listen, I like success, right? But that don't work at Arsenal. It never works at Arsenal. That works for Chelsea. That don't work for Arsenal. Anytime we've done that, Sophie, we haven't done anything. We've spent a lot of money, Sophie, but we've not done
gone
anything.
From George Graham to Bruce Rioch to Arsene Wenger. How many managers have we had in the last 30 years?
No, but what I'm saying, yeah,
We haven't
that's
tried
what I'm
it.
saying. No, we've spent a lot of money at Arsenal. What are you talking
No, I'm
about?
talking
We haven't
about
tried it.
changing managers in
Yeah,
order
but
to
what
allow
comes
that
to
to
change
happen.
managers is money, Sophie. Because any manager that goes in at Chelsea gets a war chest.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you switch we're trying to switch our DNA and culture and do things in order to win. I don't think people should criticize Chelsea's model. It has yielded unprecedented
Sophie,
success.
But you're asking me the question and I'm answering it. I'm saying this don't work at Arsenal. The chopping and changing. Arsenal are a different club to Chelsea. That's all. If we change managers left, right, and centre and it don't work, we're the fool. We're the fool. We're seeing it happen at Everton. They change manager after manager and it gets worse. Because the moment people hit the skid, Soph, everyone's looking to somebody else to change. And let's be honest, some of those managers at Chelsea have been successful and still got the sack.
Ancelotti got sacked when he did the double in the stairwell at a club he went on to manage afterwards. But that's the point. That's the point. The ruthlessness has yielded glory, times and experiences and memories. Kev, of course.
The money has, Sophie.
No, but you still have to make those changes in order to yield the glory, Kev.
Sophie, so what you're saying to me is a manager comes in and he wins the double at Arsenal and then you would sack him. No, Sophie. That's never happened at Arsenal.
Real Madrid have done it. Chelsea have done it.
I'm talking about the Arsenal, Sophie. I am not talking about those other clubs.
Maybe there were things we didn't know about that Ancelotti wasn't working out for him on a personnel level.
Sophie, that is not happening at the Arsenal.
Rafa Benitez won the Europa League there. Roberto Di Matteo won the Champions League there.
It is not happening at the Arsenal.
I know it's not. That's the point. Maybe
That's
it should.
what I'm happy about. No, it shouldn't.
So you wouldn't change what we've had over the last 20 years for what Chelsea have had?
No, I wouldn't.
Even though you're a winner and you love winning trophies?
Yeah, we win our way.
But we haven't won. We've won 4 FA Cups.
Yeah, but look at our history of winning.
They've got a better recent history.
Yeah, well, that's because of the money.
I'm calm. Do you see me like sweating? No.
Sophie, that's because of the dough. Of course. Man City are there because of the dough. It's that simple.
But that's the cycle of life. Football is about money now. And unless you're investing heavily and spending 80 million on Dusan to gazump Juventus, unless you're willing to pay Haaland insane wages, unless you want to pay, Bruno and his agent X, Y, and Z, you're just not going to compete. And so I think we're happy now, pigeonholed in this pocket where Arteta works out as the perfect manager to manage younger players and not be given the types of treasure and war chests that the likes of Liverpool and Chelsea and Manchester United and Manchester City are able to, the owners of Aston Villa are probably going to spend more than us in the next 2 or 3 years. The owners of Everton have spent a ton of money and it hasn't worked for them.
Yeah,
but
Sophie, don't forget, previously, a lot of teams spent more than Arsenal. Way back, a lot of teams spent more than Arsenal. But they couldn't touch Arsenal.
Yeah, but Wenger didn't win the league after the Invincibles. He didn't.
I'm talking about. But before that, Sophie, Arsenal, after that, Arsene Wenger spent money. He did spend money, and look what we got. We couldn't then challenge. We got top 4 because the league wasn't as strong. But we couldn't win the league.
But Kev, here's what we did. We bought in the players, but we did it one marquee signing a season. So we also won the FA Cups latter and said, wow, this team it's in May, we've won an FA Cup. This team is going to be good enough to challenge for the Premier League. And we were sold that year after year after year.
I never said that.
Arsene Wenger was very vocal about his
but
FA Cup.
he has to.
Hold on a second. And then you bring in Santi one season. You bring in Ozil. Then you bring in Sanchez. Then you bring in X, instead of doing what some other clubs do, and they're like, we're bringing this centre back in, we're bringing this midfielder in, and we're bringing this striker in. And then we always sold our best players to our rivals. Can you imagine? And our Robin van Persie goes and wins the league the very next season with Manchester United. Samir Nasri, Clichy. They go and win the league time and time again with Manchester City. We give Cesc Fabregas, Barcelona, to mugging us off season after season with our players. Mugs. We've been mugs, Kev.
So, but it's our fault.
That's what
It's
I'm
our
saying.
fault.
So we can't say Chelsea's model isn't better than ours. They've won. Sports is about winning. It's not a participation.
Sophie, we're not talking
thing.
about whose model is better. It's what works for the club. You're talking about Arsenal spending money. Arsenal ended up spending money in the wrong area. Everybody knew where we needed to spend the money, and it never was spent there. Centre back and centre midfield.
But like Gooner Chapman says, you always say sports is about winning. When people say to you, would you rather finish 4th? No, I want to win. I want to win trophies.
Sophie, you said to me, would I swap Chelsea or would I stay at Arsenal? I would choose Arsenal's way 100%.
Okay, you know what? After the Kroenke debate, which is happening next week, this is going to be a great show for a debate with Arsenal fans. Would you rather have what they've had over the last few years or have what we've had? Exactly. Spurs love participating. And you know what? Let's stop taking the piss out of them a little bit, although not too much.
Why?
London is...
Why should we stop?
You know why? North London isn't white or red. It's dead right now.
Nonsense. It's red, always has been and always will be. I don't agree with that, Sophie. North London is red.
In principle, yes.
No, it's red.
In the transfer market, not so much.
Red. No, yeah, it's dead in the transfer market. I mean, come on. It's dead in the transfer market.
It's been another brilliant show. I did find this gem. By the way, you guys, a round of applause for the chat box tonight, Kev. On fire, brilliant stuff. And yeah, it's red always. Brendan says it is dead until we find our way. Grass isn't always greener. North London is yellow.
Arsenal kit, isn't it? Yellow kit.
Yeah, the away. Kev, I found this little gem. I'm not sure if I've shared it on the show before, but the hair. What is happening here? Look at that.
Oh, that was the Twins Barbers in Brixton. Gave me a title-winning haircut, that was. A nice title-winning haircut, Soph. That's when that was all the rage.
Let me get rid of this banner here real quick, because that haircut, Kev, is absolutely just priceless. Look at this, everyone. What was the inspiration behind that one, Kev? What was the fashion inspiration?
It was a title-winning haircut, Soph. Something a bit different. And then after that, Sophie, everyone started to get their hair all done like that in the hood. So it was brilliant. That barbershop was very prominent in Brixton, the Twins barbershop. On Cold Harbour Lane, so. Just round the corner from We're Gonna Rock. Don't talk Electric Avenue. Yeah, just round the corner.
That's what I think too, Christoph. The lightning. Brilliant stuff. KC did invent it. Look, oh my gosh, an actual compliment from Newman. MC Hammer vibes, MC Hammer wish. KC Barber gone wild. They're loving it, Kev. Absolutely loving it.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I still love that now. You know, great times, Soph. Great times to be able to win.
Winning,
Soph.
winning, man.
But
That's what I'm
Sophie,
saying.
it's winning at the Arsenal is what we want.
Of course, of course. Listen, we get the weekend off. Can't remember the last time that happened. No games. And talk about being crazy. We're crazy enough to love the Arsenal to bring this show to you Monday through Friday, live every
Trevor,
single
those were the
day.
days, mate. I tell you, those were the days.
Was that a hairdresser that one of these fellas introduced you to? Because I could see one of these guys. Did they used to go to him too, Kev? Or
No, these were people I knew in Brixton, and I think Rocky used to go to a barbershop on Acre Lane, and Mickey Thomas used to go to one. I think he used to go to the same one on Acre Lane. I'm not sure which one Paul Davis used to go to, Pops. But the twins were my guys, bit younger than me, but they were very creative, lovely good lads. Twins, Derek and Dennis. So, yeah, brilliant.
didn't need a trim here though, Kev. Didn't need a trim.
No,
here.
didn't need to fix that up. Didn't need to give that a fade. Not at all.
Oh, brilliant stuff. Absolutely wonderful. Listen, it's been an epic week. If you've missed any shows, please go and check out the channel this week. We had the tactical squad on Monday, James and Josh. Kev loved that show. It was really good quality.
Show. Really good show. Tuesday was excellent as well.
Tuesday was a great show.
Trip down memory lane.
Yeah, trip down memory lane with Rich and with Universal Greek, Gosta. We had Lee Judges and Potsy do their favourite Arsenal goals ever, which was a lot of fun. And of course, last night's show, also a ton of fun with myself and Super Kev talking about the countdown of the transfer clock. And tonight, of course, Super Kev and Kevin Says. Brilliant stuff. Kev, we're off this weekend. Guess what I'm going to do?
Sleep.
I'm going to binge watch Ozark Season 4.
I've got it to watch, Soph, but I'm taking my time. I'm going to take my time on it. I love it, you know. I love it.
It's so good.
I love it, yeah.
I love Jason Bateman when he plays the dark characters. I really do. Has Tyrese scored yet? What's the score?
I think they're 1-0 down, Soph.
All right.
1-0 down, so I'm going to get to watch
the boy.
it.
Yep. All right, Kev.
So, squaddies, hostess with the mostest, thank you very much, Sophie. Always great to speak to you on Kev Says. Squaddies, thank you very much for coming in, whether you agree, disagree, whatever your opinion is. We're all crazy gooners, you know that, don't you now? We're all crazy. And somebody even called me deluded. And Arteta's lawyer, so thank you very much. Squaddies, take good care. Have a lovely weekend. No football. Love your family. Tell people you love them and take good care. And we'll see you on Magnificent Transfer Monday. All right?
Oh, boy.
Take good care, squaddies. And you know what comes next? At ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.